Hello, everyone, and you viewers, welcome back to the best Agile Lean Coffee show on YouTube. And we're back with our fun discussions. My name is Janlén.
I'm Anders.
Leila.
Jagge.
And as usual, we'll use this timer, set it for 4 minutes, and then do quick voting to see if we want to add 90 more seconds for the topics. Enough said, right? Let's dive in and see what the first topic is. Let's go. All right, are you ready? I'm spinning. Let's see who starts with the first out of 2 topics. Ah, and it's me. All right, cool. This is my topic. This is a yay or nay. Introvert and extrovert. Do they exist? Are they useful terms? Or is it a stupefying simplification? So, extrovert and extrovert. Are the terms useful? Yay or nay? Nay, nay, and yay.
I would go first.
Yeah, I wound up the timer.
Yeah, I think that they are oversimplifications, definitely, but I still think they are a archetype, or it forces us to think about people being different. Just like when we use personas in product development, they are oversimplifications about all our users, but they force us to think about that people are different and have different needs. So I think they are useful.
No, I'm easily triggered here to go on a rant, but the first problem is the definition. People have 2 different definitions of it. So introvert, for some people, tends to be quiet. For other people, it means they recharge energy when alone, and the opposite. So there's a confusion about the definition. But when I get triggered by these terms, which I usually become when they are raised, is that they're raised in an agile context. But how about introverts in an agile team, or won't the extroverts have the biggest say in decision making and so forth? And that conversation is very, very rarely constructive or forward looking, I think.
But it's also not that true, is it really? Like, I think in an agile structure, the word is pretty like equally spanned out in between all members. So you usually always hand out opportunities. People are good at facilitating. The word goes around. So I would kind of claim the opposite, that in an agile context, maybe a person who is not that outspoken actually gets equal opportunity as well.
Jagge, your thoughts?
Of course, it's important to have some way to make complex things more understandable. That's why we love forfeit everything. I believe this is a little bit dangerous, because my perception of introvert and extrovert is that it's always the extrovert that use these terms, that they are extrovert introverts. Very seldom hear introvert saying I'm an introvert. It's always like the extrovert trying to figure out why they are not happy in their situation and so on. And I'm very cautious of using slangs in this sense, because it puts wrong labels on people. But we need to put labels on people, sure.
But different labels.
If we start with the assumption that
labels.
For me, the problem is that if we start with the assumption that the people who are being silent the most are introverts, I think that's just a dangerous shortcut. Their silence the root cause for silence can be so many other things. And they might be totally verbal and occupy space in other contexts and situations.
Well, I think what annoys me the most with introverts, extroverts, is maybe that it's not. I think it's good with things that makes us, soul search and think about who we are and how we are acting, etc., etc. All of those frameworks can be helpful. But I think the problem with introverts, extroverts, and maybe it is because it's just polarizing these two, is that people use them as excuses. That annoys me. I hate when people use stuff as excuses.
You're right.
Sorry,
It's very
I can't do this
mindset.
because I'm an introvert. Sorry, I can't handle myself because I'm an extrovert. Get over yourself.
You're right that it is very like fixed mindset. It doesn't allow for a lot of like I was like this, or I'm a little bit like natural like this, but I want to grow like this and change my ways. But I think I have different experience from all of you on how we use it. I see it being used a lot in like, how do we set up this this decision-making forum so that it's inclusive for everyone? And someone might say, well, let's make sure that we get people that are they use the term introverts, that they also can be part of the decision-making. But what they mean.
All right, continue.
What they mean is typically, let's find a way that where we get to hear from everyone, where everyone's voice is heard and is counted equally, and perhaps even get different ways of giving input. Like let's allow for written input and thoughtful feedback, not just spoken out loud.
But that's a valuable, constructive conversation to have, right?
Yes.
And we want that for many reasons, not for just that some people are confident speaking out loud, but informal hierarchies or whatnot, or democratic.
Yeah, there probably is so much more dimension involved in group dynamics than how you feel, because some days I'm just tired, I don't want to speak up, or I got some wrong cough, I don't know. And in many ways I don't feel myself an extrovert, but I think some people that knows me in business think I am that, because I like to stand on stage maybe. But at home I'm very like, not that at all, I would say. I see other people that are more extrovert than me. They feel like they are really that. So I think you can be both. I don't know what really that means. What gives you energy, I guess. But some things gives me energy in some situations,
And I've shifted throughout my life, I think. So when I was a developer, I was thirsting for social activities on my spare time. Now all I do is being social with other people on challenges. So when on my spare time, I want to be alone. So I kind of shifted. All right. Did the topic run dry?
Basically, I think people should stop using this in the wrong way, because it's labeling people, and especially people with some type of formal power or whatever. It's unnecessary.
Cool. All right, so let's see who's gonna bring up the second topic. I'm spinning, and let's see. Aha, Jagge.
Okay, team. This is a question or reflection I've been thinking about for some time now, and it's my idea is that consensus, or the need for consensus, kills business agility and innovation if it's done wrong. Yay or nay?
All day.
Oh no, we all agree. Darn.
First time.
Or maybe for different reasons.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Who want to start?
I can start.
Yep.
I think consensus is a super powerful and useful decision-making technique when it's crucial that we all passionately commit and agree. It can take super long time, but if the actually only time I use it is for working agreement or code of conduct. Beyond that, if you all agree, that's just luck. We can't. It's not worth the time, or it can. I think that can even be counterproductive to strive for kind of the smallest common denominator we all can agree upon. I think that's dangerous sometimes, if we want to move fast and be innovative.
I agree with you, Jimmy, because I think that also when you think about it, it's seldom needed that everybody actually needs to agree on something to be able to act on it or to create it or to do it. If we're talking about situations like innovation or business agility, I'm thinking about my own company. We have a co-leadership principle in base. So it's not one person who decides everything, but we always, when we're in a discussion about the topic, we decide on who is driving that. And then we all say, we give all mandate to you, you drive this. And I think it's so nice to do that, because sometimes I'm not even interested in decided in this topic, and I think it's a relief to just give that power to somebody else that I trust to do this perfectly fine and great without me.
But Jagge, why did you raise this topic?
No, I'm struggling with the idea of being fast decision making, because I'm starting to measuring business agility and how good you are taking decisions, especially the easy ones, and how you can use those as a measure how to turn the organization or whatever to what you need to do. And sometimes consensus, or not, maybe even you don't even know that you want to do that. You just try to get people on board because it's difficult to take the decision when you not get everyone all the support, but you need to take that decision anyway. Then you get stuck there, and then you need to do, you want everyone to be on board, but business is not about that, I feel. So if you have a consensus culture, then you want to strive for, as you said, Jim, I agree that some questions, creating guidelines or basic agreements, I think that would be great. The rest is whatever situation needed to be.
Yeah.
I think it's also cool. I think quite few organizations are like explicitly thinking about what decision-making strategy they have, even for like a specific decision, and so it often ends up being consensus, because what you do is just gather people in a meeting room and have a discussion. So it's not that they explicitly decided we want a consensus decision on this. It's just that is what it ends up. It just happens to become that way. So just being aware and making an explicit choice on how do we make a decision on this, and who needs to be involved to give input or to actually make the decision. I think that goes a really long way to improve that situation.
I think my default, when forced to give advice or have an opinion, I usually try to propose consent decision making, and maybe explore ideas, vote on a favorite one, and then improve that idea until there is consent. Tie. Jagge, your topic. Close or continue?
Yeah, you continue. You had something I want to hear.
All right. So I don't think one should practice to become better at consensus decision making. I think one should practice to commit. Actually, as a team or agile team or leadership team, having the conversation and then reaching an agreement and then committing to that one, even if I don't believe that this is the best one. But now we have had our discussions and it's good enough. It's not the best one, but as a team, we practice to commit to that decision we've made, and let's be good at that. Let's support. Let's practice being followers.
Yeah,
I think the pitfall that I see when companies start having these discussions, though, is that you tend to say we don't want to move away from consensus decisions, so let's find like drivers or people who can take these decisions or make accountability really clear. And I often think you miss the first step, where you actually want really broad input from a lot of people. So the ideation phase of a new product, a new project, or even for a decision, like the input phase, you actually want a lot of people, even if it's a few people that make a consent decision about it. So not missing that part.
Yeah, consensus culture may be a sign of confusion or insecurities in like the kind of structure you actually have, and that people actually don't know. And when they don't know, the most secure way is to ask everybody to make sure that we have everybody's on board.
All right, so cool. So that was the second topic for this episode. So let's wrap it up. So thank you for watching this episode of Lean Coffee. Let's wrap it up with some things we remember and that stuck.
Practice commitment, not consent.
I would say to all self-acclaimed extrovert, stop using the term extrovert versus introvert.
Avoid consensus. It will slow you down to a crawl. Try other techniques, and like Leila said, practice commit.
Extroverts and introverts have at least two different definitions. Either it's about where you store, where you gather energy, or how outspoken or quiet you are.
if you want to watch more of these Link Coffee episodes, you can find one here and the rest on the YouTube channel. Take care. Bye-bye.